There was once a moment in history when hope seemed completely lost, not because God had abandoned his people, but because the road ahead looked impossible. The children of Israel had suffered for generations in Egypt. They were beaten, broken, forgotten. Their cries rose to heaven every night. Mothers prayed in silence. Fathers worked with pain in their hands. Children were born into chains, but God was listening. He had not forgotten them. And when the time was right, God called a man named Moses. Moses was not what people expected. He had fears, he had doubts. He even told God, "Lord, I'm not good at speaking." God said, "I will be with you." That is the beauty of God. He does not wait for perfect people. He uses willing hearts. So Moses went to Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt, the man who thought he could control everything. Again and again, Moses said, "Let my people go." Again and again, Pharaoh refused, until one night God moved, the chains broke, doors opened, and thousands of God's people stepped out of slavery into freedom. Can you imagine that moment after years of bondage? Their feet touched the road of freedom, children laughed, mothers cried, fathers looked at the sky in disbelief. For the first time in years they could breathe. But sometimes, the hardest battles happen after the breakthrough begins. As they journeyed through the wilderness, suddenly the atmosphere changed, the ground trembled, a cloud of dust rose in the distance, the sound of horses grew louder. Chariots thundered across the desert. Pharaoh had changed his mind. He was coming back. And now God's people were trapped. In front of them, a massive Red Sea, behind them, an angry army on both sides, mountains, no bridge, no escape. No way out. The people panicked. Fear spread through the camp. Some shouted, "Moses, why did you bring us here?" Some cried, "We should have stayed in Egypt." And if we are honest, many of us know what that feels like. To leave behind what hurt us, only to face something worse. To trust God and still find yourself standing in front of an impossible wall. Maybe your Red Sea is sickness. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's fear. And right now you feel trapped. But listen carefully. God often allows impossible situations to reveal impossible miracles. When fear filled the air, God spoke, not to the crowd, not to Pharaoh, to Moses, and he said, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell my people to move forward." Move forward toward the sea, yes. Because faith is not walking when you understand. Faith is walking when you trust. God said, "Lift your staff." Moses obeyed. He stood before the sea. The wind began to blow, at first softly, then stronger. The sky darkened. The waves trembled. The earth seemed to pause, and then the sea began to split. Can you imagine the sound? Water rising like walls. A path opening where there was none. The impossible becoming possible. A road appeared right through the middle of what was meant to stop them. This is who God is. He makes roads in places that look closed. He opens doors no one can shut. He creates hope where fear said it was over. The people began to walk, not on mud, not in fear, but on dry ground. Every step was a miracle. Every breath was proof. God was still with them. Mothers held their children tightly. Fathers looked around in awe. The elderly walked with tears in their eyes, and every step whispered, "We made it." Pharaoh's army was still chasing. They saw the path too. They thought, if they can pass, so can we. Followed, but what Pharaoh did not understand was this: the miracle was not for everyone. It was for the people who trusted God. As soon as God's people reached the other side, God spoke again. The wind shifted. The walls of water trembled, and suddenly the sea crashed down. The army disappeared beneath the waves. The same sea that made a way for God's people destroyed what was chasing them. Think about that. The thing that looked like your biggest obstacle can become the very place where God gives you victory. That fear chasing you, God can stop it. That pain behind you, God can heal it. That enemy threatening your peace, God can silence it. The people stood safely on the other side. For the first time they were truly free. No chains, no fear, no Pharaoh, just freedom. And they understood something powerful. God did not bring them out to leave them halfway. He brought them out to bring them through. And maybe that is the word someone needs today. You feel surrounded. You feel tired. You feel like giving up. But hear this: if God brought you this far, He did not bring you here to fail. Your Red Sea is not your ending. Your pain is not your final chapter. Your fear is not stronger than God's power. The same God who opened the sea can open doors for you. The same God who protected Israel can protect your family. The same God who made a way then is still making ways now. So don't stop. Even if you are scared, walk. Even if you don't understand, trust. Even if you feel weak, keep moving. Because when God says go, the sea has no choice but to obey. Slow emotional ending. So today, whatever sea stands in front of you, stand still. Trust God and keep walking, because your miracle may be one step away. If you believe God is making a way for you, type Amen in the comments and share this with someone who needs hope today.